Welcome to a show about wrestling. It's a show about wrestling. This week we're talking about a lot.
It's not really right to do that right now. I feel like it's more appropriate considering it is a 20-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Of Montreal Screwjob.
And we got
Jericho versus Omega. We got the
news
whole
about Sami Zayn,
Kevin Owens,
and Impact.
Impact's now Canadian.
Yeah.
So what? Let's change it up a little bit. Let's back it up.
All right.
Welcome to a show about Canada. It's a show about Canada
And poutine.
and wrestling
And moose.
and a moose.
Not that moose. Well, anyways. How do we want to start this off?
We're talking about Canadian shit today.
Lots of Canadian shit. And, I really love Canada. I've spent quite a bit of time in Toronto. It's a beautiful city.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
And,
I haven't been
best
there.
poutine on earth, obviously.
I have an enhanced license and I still haven't gone.
Way to go.
I know.
We got to see those wrestling shows in Windsor.
In Windsor.
Yeah, we are coming to you straight from the U.S.-Canadian border. Don't look into the placement of Flint.
It's close, trust me.
It's close enough.
Close enough. So, first off, 20 years since HBK, Bret Hart, Montreal Screwjob.
The big one. The big screw over. A lot of people have been screwed over by Vince, but not quite in this magnificent of a way.
And then 20 years later, we got Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn kind of getting screwed over. Now, if you're not completely up to speed on the whole thing, here's what happened. Apparently, for the SmackDown taping, Kevin and Sami were supposed to eat the pin from Kofi and lose. And then they were supposed to attack... Well, Kevin was supposed to attack Kofi, which he did. And the plan was for them to get beaten up by the New Day immediately after. And apparently Kevin and Sami weren't down for that. So, Creative got pissed. They got heated backstage and they got sent home.
How heated are we talking here? Was there...
Well, apparently things were getting pretty tense during the European tour, which usually happens. But I think they have I think there's a good... I prefer their creative decision in all this. Because, how else do you create heat for Sami and Kevin if they don't jump someone and then slip out before the baby faces can get their comeuppance?
Yeah. So was this a case of them going, guys, this doesn't make sense. You got to do it this way.
We're gonna get
creative,
buried. Yeah.
Creative being like, no, trust us. That's what it really seems like to me.
Yeah.
And we already know Kevin, at the very least, Kevin Owens is fucking hard-headed as fuck. Mm-hmm. And Sami Zayn probably had some very long-winded statements about it.
I don't think Sami would have done this on his own, personally, if it was just him in the program. But I think the fact that Kevin has been able to build up such a stock in the WWE.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people saying it could be a work because Vince just let Kevin headbutt him wide open.
And then gave him a week off later.
So, it seems like they're actually being really good to him.
Yeah, true.
So, I'm a little bit skeptical. It could just be another case of, Kevin having to go home. So, let's make a thing out of it. And it also kind of...
it does add to the angle because...
It adds a layer of realism.
Yeah. If someone did act out like that, they would get sent home. So.
Yeah, because they're very anti-authority right now. So that would make sense. But who knows? Well, I guess we'll have to find out in the next couple weeks. But that's... that's something to ponder on. Another thing... For Canadian is Jinder Mahal lost the championship.
And we couldn't be happier.
Really?
It's been too long. Why I think they finally gave in that this was a failed experiment. with Jinder.
Well, the rumors are that it's been advertised in India that Jinder's a 2-time champion. So I think...
Oh, fuck.
I think it might be like a last-minute change where they probably were thinking, okay, people aren't as excited for Brock versus Jinder as we'd hoped. It's not even, causing a bump on the radar in India. No one cares. So, let's do what we always do. Call AJ.
Oh, AJ will fix it.
AJ will take care of it. And it's been I think it was around 50 years since the last time the title has changed hands outside of the United States. Well, outside of North America, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because titles definitely change hands in Canada.
Yeah. So, I guess you'd have
That's crazy. And wasn't it like 10 years since that happened on SmackDown or something like that?
Something like that.
Or only the second time it happened on SmackDown?
Either way, it's been a long time. It hasn't. I think it hasn't been since.
Cena?
I might be wrong, but it might be Brock versus Kurt Angle.
Okay.
So it might be closer to 15 years.
You texted it to me the other day. I just can't remember.
I'm not sure, but either way, it doesn't happen enough, and very happy for the UK crowd.
Yeah, they lucked out this week. Pete Dunne showing up too.
I think they messed up with by playing the music and then Kurt coming out. I think they meant to play Kurt's music first, have him come out and introduce Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
But that also was like, okay, why do you bring Kalisto out? Because then he walks through the ropes, sits down, and then you have Kurt.
Well, it's kind of like,
That's
you want to talk shit about me? Well, deal with my friend here.
That's three different entrances. That's 3 different entrances before you get to Pete Dunne.
True.
But I don't know. But at the same time, a lot of the crowd. Is it just me, or is there like there's a lot of casuals out in the UK who aren't as familiar with the local talent?
I don't know. England and the UK, the whole thing is a lot smaller than the United States.
But the scene is a lot better.
Yeah. So, does that make it more prominent in their culture?
I don't know. I'm very envious of their indie scene because
I feel like so small.
Nobody has an exclusive contract in the UK to any company. As far as like Ring of Honor and New Japan talent goes. So you can have dream matches between TNA guys and Ring of Honor, New Japan, anywhere, and you can just bring them all in. So that's great. And you can even have a guy like Rey Mysterio face Kurt Angle. Speaking of TNA or TNA is a Canadian company now. They're not American anymore.
And they're not called TNA or Global Force. It's Impact again.
It's a long shot from its southern roots, if you ask me.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. But now
wasn't that the remnants of Crockett Promotions?
No. But the Jarrett family name goes back for like 5 generations.
Oh yeah.
So
in the wrestling biz.
So it's
interesting.
It's a far cry from what it used to be now.
Wow.
And on top of that, they kind of use this move as a way to shake off any people who they couldn't afford anymore, because now they have all Canadian refs. They basically just fired all the refs at once, and now it's all Canadian.
Apparently they fired most of their staff too, because they needed people to help set up the ring for Bound for Glory. So, yeah.
Also, we saw a casting call to be an audience member at their upcoming events. So
all in all, it seems like they're grasping at straws right now. But it has been for like 4 years now. They're probably going to be the promotion that doesn't die.
They'll finally get their footing now. Yeah, they will just never die.
Yeah.
They'll keep, just skating by. But
20 years, you're going to hear someone mention Impact, and you're going to be like, TNA is still around? And they'll be like, what the fuck is TNA?
It's always changing. I don't know what it would be like to be a long-time employee of that company.
Right?
Never knowing how secure your job really is.
Right. I wonder if there's anyone that's gone through like most incarnations. Like, who's had the longest tenure?
I'd
there
say
out of
probably
anyone?
Jeremy Borash.
yeah, it probably is.
He's been there from the get-go, and that's about all I can think of, really, as far as long-term. James Storm, there's another, even he jumped ship for a hot second to NXT. So.
What year did they start? 04? 03?
I think it was like 02, 01. It was it was very shortly after WCW.
So Lashley's been with them for
he's been
a while.
He's been with them, yeah, I guess you could say close to 10 years on and off between like MMA stints and stuff like that. So that's Canada changing the game.
Apparently.
Changing the game all around.
We're pretty close to Canada.
But I'd have to say the biggest game changer right now is Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho at the Tokyo Dome, January 4th at Wrestle Kingdom 12.
Wrestle Kingdom.
Yes, that's what it is.
And we don't have to wait a whole year for the Cruise, the Cruise of Jericho, the Rock and Rager at Sea. It's just in January, right?
The cruise?
No.
Oh,
Wrestle Kingdom,
January 4th.
Yeah.
Every year, January 4th.
A little over a month.
I'm thinking about planning a little
nearly 2
vacation,
months.
little New Year's vacation to Japan. That'd be good.
Japan.
Yeah, think about it. You come there on New Year's, you get to hang out there a few days, see what's up, and on the 4th day you go to Wrestle Kingdom. And then the next day, I can't remember what the name of the show is that goes on right after it. But
what, the DDT show?
No. There's a Fallout pay-per-view that comes out the next day.
Oh yeah.
And I just can't think of it off the top of my head. Shoot me. I know. But there's been a few rumors going around that from just a couple sources that Vince still has Jericho still under contract. Meanwhile, Meltzer's saying he's a free agent. And they're saying the argument for this possibly being a work from WWE is like a ploy to say, okay, we're going to give you one of our top stars in Japan. Now, will you come over to us? But I think Kenny Omega sees that that's not going to help their case at all. He's going to be like, okay, thanks. Thanks for the Jericho match. Now, go back to doing your thing. He seems pretty...
Who, Gato?
No. Kenny Omega. He seems pretty... I don't know. I don't see him jumping ship. He knows that it's much bigger than money.
Yeah.
Like, he wants to change
so you're saying
business as it is.
WWE wants Kenny.
He wants to tip the scales and and start an actual war.
Okay.
So
Chris does? Or Kenny does?
Kenny does.
Chris is in on it.
So if
he's the Benedict Arnold of this whole thing.
If Chris is an offering from WWE as like a sign of good faith, then I don't know. I don't think Kenny Omega would leave New Japan unless New Japan was already good to go.
Yeah, and I don't think Chris would do something like that to WWE because he loves WWE so much.
And I bet you,
if he wasn't sent there.
bet you if Kenny Omega went to WWE, it would be for probably similar reasons to, well, a lot of people say why Shinsuke went to WWE.
Yeah.
You're on the tail end of your career. You want to tone it down a bit in the ring. You want to relax it up a bit. You don't want to, beat yourself up like you would in New Japan.
Right.
Not have as many stiff matches, stuff like that. That's the only scenario. I feel like he knows he has unfinished business.
Yeah. And unlimited potential.
And he's already seen how much the Elite have changed everything, or the Bullet Club as a whole now.
Yeah.
They've brought eyes to the outside, and now they're bringing more money to the outside because Austin Aries is making more on the indies than he ever did in the WWE.
Yeah.
And that was one of the big things.
WWE allowed him to make
that was one of the big things for Neville as far as wanting to leave.
Yeah.
He was like, well, shit. I kind of feel like, this kind of seems like a dead-end deal with the cruiserweights.
Was the
might as
club
well get out of
ready
here.
with a Neville Bullet Club shirt like the day after the news broke? Because they usually are ready with this shit.
they always post it.
Yeah.
Always. And
Anytime anyone leaves.
I think they mentioned on the Cole Cabana podcast this week
That they have no control over it, actually.
that, and they were like, we need to stop just offering, because we really actually want to have matches with these people. We don't
They can't all be in it. Yeah.
because then you really are starting to get into, the whole downfall of the NWO.
Yeah.
With
32 members or whatever.
everybody joins at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, another big thing now is New Japan's beginning to add subtitles to their videos on YouTube.
Oh,
so
cool.
you can actually get really invested in the product now and not just, fast forward to all the English promos.
Yeah. Which doesn't part of you just feel a little bit racist when
What do you mean?
skip the part you can't understand?
If you can't understand it, you can't understand it.
True, yeah.
I mean, the announcers do their best to try to, analyze what they said. But even then, it doesn't really offer much.
Yeah, the announcers I get probably don't speak Japanese, or if they do, very little.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I think this is going to be huge for the business itself. It's going to be kind of weird seeing Jericho in another company.
Yeah, and we know it's not completely absurd for WWE to work with New Japan. It has happened in the past. Mm-hmm. Few and far between, but it has happened.
Entering to Judas,
right?
With long hair.
Yeah.
I hope he's not going to wear the trunks anymore. I hope he's actually going to bring back the tights.
Yeah, that would be cool. I hope it gets long enough where he can do the top knot thing like he used to do. That'd be cool. Or ridiculous, which I think is cool.
Jericho with a man bun.
That's what he used to do back in WCW.
If you're gonna heal it up, get a man bun.
Pull it up like this in the middle and just let it fountain. You haven't seen those?
And then do the little.
Yeah. He did it once. He'll do it again. Guaranteed.
Oh boy!
And he had some beautiful long hair. That's why he was the lion.
I wonder if he's gonna. I wonder if he is gonna come back as the Lionheart. Who knows?
I hope so.
Maybe. But then again, there's a whole young lion thing. So, and he's a vet.
So he could be.
But Lionheart could also mean that he's still young. He's still a young lion at heart.
That's why he's going up against a guy that's 10 years younger than him. I was about to say half his age, but it's not that bad.
I feel like it's going to be interesting to hear how Don Callis calls the match.
Don Callis is calling it?
Yeah. And he's also from Winnipeg. And he's best friends with Jericho. And he's best friends with Kenny.
That's awesome.
He's going to be torn. It's going to be hilarious.
I wonder if Neil Young is going to show up. He's Canadian.
Oh.
He's from Winnipeg.
Just have a big Winnipeg party on the Tokyo Dome.
Right? That'd be amazing.
But, yeah. It's a very interesting time to be a Canadian wrestling fan, I'd say.
I feel like we're missing something. Nope, we talked about it all. Never mind. I love poutine. It's fries with gravy and cheese curds, and that's Canadian, and I love it. Say hello to our friend Moose. He's a moose.
Hi, Moose.
He's going to be with us every episode now.
He's not.
What?
He's not. We're not going to keep Moose. This is just this episode. We're going to go back to normal right after this.
I thought this was our life now. I thought we were just a show about Canada.
We could be.
I went through the trouble of crossing this out with paint and painting on Canada for nothing.
Huh. Okay. Join us next week on our excursion to Canada.
Do it. I got the tickets and everything.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
anyways.
I guess that's all for today. So,
doot doodle doot.
And that's the way she goes, boys.